I was 26 when I had my first management role. So, and again, I was still at Sears. You know, I had moved up fairly quickly in a couple of years. And I managed the first team I managed at Sears, at the first store that I had. It was probably the biggest and busiest store in Toronto in terms of action. And when I mean in terms of action, I mean in terms of shoplifting and fraud, which is great when you're in our world, right? That's what you want. And especially when you're young, you want all the action, right? So it was a wonderful store to be in. And that was the first store I was a manager at within loss prevention world. And the team was all male. So, and two of the gentlemen on the team, and there was a six members that I managed, and two of these members were older gentlemen, former police officers, retired police officers. So they're in their 50s. I'm in my mid 20s, so they're old enough to be my father, right? So, you know, here I come in, this fresh young blood, you know. So at first, not that they were, you know, any animosity or anything, but there was some times where they would just, you know, try and do their own thing. They thought, even though I was the manager, that they didn't need to run things by me or whatnot. But I'm thinking, is that because I was a woman or because I was young enough to be their daughter? Or was it a combination of both, you know? But, you know, you have to kind of stick to your guns, and you have to show them that, you know what you're doing. You can't be pushed around. I was confident. I wasn't cocky. You know, I was firm, but I wasn't degrading. I wasn't rude. I wasn't, you know, impolite. You know, it wasn't a power struggle. I think it was just a mindset for them. Like, here are these, you know, experienced ex-coppers. What am I going to teach them? But I showed them with, you know, tenacity, and that I could hold my own, and I could teach them things. And I didn't micromanage, but I made clear that, you know, certain decisions had to be run by me, based on, you know, the roles, and you know, police officers understand the chain of command. And the other good thing is I also had a good boss that supported me. And like I said, I wasn't one of those hands-on, I'm going to tell you what to do. I trust my team, and I've always practiced that. And you earn people's respect, and that's what it is. You can't just come in because you're a manager or any position and just expect respect. You have to earn it. You have to show people what you're made of, what you know, how you can lead, how you can set an example, and then the respect will follow. So I would say that was my only experience with any kind of pushback, or I think you called it resistance, or, you know, but again, I can't say it was specifically because I was a woman. Just like I'm not sure if it was specifically because I was this young 20-something, or a combination of both. But in the end, these two gentlemen became mentors to me. I learned a lot from them. I think I taught them a lot, and I still have a relationship where, you know, we touch base every so often, even after all these years. So, yeah.
That's wonderful. Wonderful knowing, like, you know, as a fresh young blood, what impact you can really bring when you are you stay true to yourself, when you are confident.
And with the right attitude, right? With the right attitude, yeah.
Absolutely. So my next question would be lightly related to that. As a female leader, have you ever experienced any significant barrier in your career?
Barriers. You know, again, maybe I've been lucky, guys. I can't say anything significant in terms of a barrier. What still, and I still tell this story when at a meeting, or if I'm approached at a networking event. Again, in the beginning with Sears, and Sears I'm going to use as an example because that was like really my first introduction into the security world. Part of the task force that I was involved with we had bi-weekly meetings with all major credit card fraud companies. So think of Visa, MasterCard, Amex, but as well as private label cards. So Sears had its own private label card, you know, other companies, so many to name. They had their own credit cards. So we would get together bi-weekly and just discuss the latest credit card fraud trends and what was happening and what we were seeing. And I remember, the first time I went into this meeting, I walked in and there's like 16 people, and I was the only female. So I was like, wow, like, that's wow. So a little bit intimidating, but then I thought, you know what? This could be to my advantage, because there's no way they're not going to remember me. I'm the only female. So again, I'm not going to say it was a barrier, because it didn't really stop me from anything, but it was just something I just remembered, and I still remember, and I still, like I said, still talk about it, still use it when I talk to people, and they ask me a story or something. It's just always stayed with me, like to walk into a room with like-minded individuals and you're gung-ho to share information and all of a sudden you're the only female, like you stick out like that sore thumb kind of thing. But like I said, you kind of flip it around and use it to your advantage and say, hey, they're going to remember me. I might not remember the rest of them, all of them, but they're going to remember me. So yeah, barriers, nothing should hold you back. Barriers can be overcome. Again, with determination, hard work, tenacity, and just proving yourself and staying true to yourself, you can overcome any hurdle, fence, barrier, bollard, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I believe in that. I believe you can overcome anything.
It's perfect. Absolutely perfect. So now you're so successful. So now my next question. All right. So as you climb the ladder with more in your bag, how do you balance your work-life responsibility?
You know what, work-life balance has become, I think, more important than ever, because, I hear, back in the day, a person can clock off at 5 o'clock and be done with it. Now it's not the case. Now, yeah, we might sign off at 5 o'clock, but, these lovely phones that are computers, we're always on call. We're always available. We're always reachable. So you kind of have to make yourself put some work-life balance in place. You just have to, and it's on you. Each person's responsible for their own. So I have a schedule. So yeah, I'm logged in usually around 8 o'clock in the morning, and I try and sign off about 5:30 every day. Now, there's going to be days where, something comes up, it's security, things always come up, and we're always the firefighters, and we have to put out these fires. But there are exceptions to the rules. There are days where, I'm back-to-back meetings, and the only time I have to catch up on things is by working a little bit late and after hours. That's fine. Again, should be the exception to the rule, not the norm. But most of the time, I'm in by 8, signed in, I'm logged off by 5:30. Then I take some Marti time. I call it Marti time. I'll go for a walk. We're limited now with what we can do with COVID. And then when I come back, I dedicate 1 or 2 hours to ASIS, because I am the chair of the Toronto chapter. I'm part of the Physical Security Council. I'm doing, I'm currently involved with another initiative with International, the Point of Assets book review. That's taking some time. If I leave it all for one day, it's going to be like, where if I attack it a little bit at a time. Before that, I was doing flashcards for the PSP study group. So I am very involved with ASIS, because I'm very proud of this organization and what it stands for. So again, 1 or 2 hours dedicated to that after work, and after I've had like my break, my walk, and whatever. And then I completely log off. And when I say completely log off, after that, it's like no social media, no emails, unless there's an emergency. Again, we have to accept that emergencies happen in our world and we have to act on them. But I will completely log off and, just read or listen to a podcast, or again, something for me that I enjoy. to make sure that I do have that break, that, you know, my own time and not just work, 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 because we're going to get burnt out if we continue like this, right? So you have to make that exception. You have to put yourself first, and use that, you know, whatever works for you. Everyone's different. Hope that answers that.
Yeah, yeah, that's absolutely correct. And this is so incredible to see, like, you know, being put your hand in different baskets, still you could manage to manage the balance between work and life, which is absolutely fantastic. So that's what you want to tell the world, that, you know, you have to decide like how you should prioritize your work. Correct.
And it's very important that you also organize. Like, again, days can be crazy, but there's a lot of tools. Like, even we use Outlook for our platform for ADP. Outlook has that task list, your calendar. Even if you book like a couple of hours in your calendar a day, to do the little things that, you know, just pile up on the to-do list. But the task list for me, Microsoft has a to-do list that I use, and it's always on my desktop. It keeps things organized, it keeps things prioritized. I control it. I know what's important, what needs to be actioned, what can wait, what doesn't need to be actioned or even dealt with. It can go right at the bottom of the pile. So organization is key as well, to kind of keep you in line with everything. But there's a lot of tools, so whatever works for everybody.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. So that is what is a prioritize, prioritize, prioritize.
Yes.
Perfect. All right, Marti, let me see. All right, so here again, what's the successful woman's opinion? Do women in this industry have a hard time getting promoted? Do you think they need some extraordinary effort to reach there? What's your opinion?
Sorry, the first part I got, the last part cut out. And I know I have the question somewhere, but...
No, that's fine. That's fine. So do you think that women need to put some extraordinary effort in order to get promoted?
We live in a very highly competitive world. But I think, you know, your first question, you know, do women have a hard time getting promoted? Again, I don't think so. And if you work for an organization that does have a problem promoting women, then that's an organization maybe that you need to reconsider working for. But I think in today's day and age, I think, you know, companies and organizations have their, you know, diversity plans in place. And they really look at getting the best person for the role. And if that's a woman, I think, yeah, it'll happen. Is there biases sometimes instilled with women? I think so, yeah. But I don't really think there's that much in terms of promotion that's holding women back. I mean, you look at a lot of, you know, professions like, you know, chief security officers that are women. Verizon, ASIS, American Express had, I don't know if they still have, Johnson & Johnson. You know, you look at in the law enforcement, and I will bring law enforcement in because they're very closely tied to the, just, I call them public and we're the private side, but, you know, there's a lot of females that are police chiefs in Canada and the US. Our CMP, our National Police Force, I guess the equivalent of the FBI, is a female. We have a female police chief, Brenda Lukey. You know, so my former employer, it's not just security. You know, my former employer, Monera Solutions, is Canada's largest payment processor. Female, you know, president, CEO. So women are getting to the top. I think in our world, if I keep it just focused on security, I don't think a lot of women are putting their name forward. And I'm not going to say I get sad. I just wish I could see more. You know, cybersecurity is a big thing right now. It's really growing big. And they have a shortage of positions globally, not just women, men. We're talking a shortage of, they need people. But when you look at the cybersecurity world, I think it's only like 12 or 15 or less than 20% that are women. Why are we not applying to those roles? What's holding us back? You know, I think the more we put ourselves out there, the more you will see women getting promoted. I really don't think that's an issue anymore as much as it used to be. You know, we live in a world where biases and stereotypes are going down. Yes, they still exist. I think we all have some kind of a bias or a stereotype, willingly or unwillingly, we all do. It's just ingrained in human nature. But I don't think it's that much of a factor keeping women back. At least I haven't seen it in my world, in the worlds that I've been involved in. And yeah, I hope never to see it, right?
Oh, yes, yes, definitely. That's what, like, for the security industry in a particular, this is the answer. I'm very positive that people would like to understand, like, what is it happening, you know, just in terms of the security. So that's wonderful that lines are blurring as we proceed. So perfect.
And it was also good that, you know, just last year we had Christina Duffy as our ASIS International president, you know, running ASIS International. So you see it. You might not see it as much, but I think it's also because we're not in there as much. And if we had a bigger ratio and proportion of women, we'd probably see even more of it. So yeah.
Correct. So that's a lovely answer. Before I proceed to the next question. All right, Marti. Do you find the work-life balance challenges are included in the curriculum? If not, could they be? Does your organization has anything which give the liberty to the people?
I was going to say, so I'm assuming you mean work, right? In the work. So yeah, of course there are. There's always work-life balances, challenges, but it's on you. It has to be on the individual. We have to take ownership of it. You know, a lot of organizations are actually tooting about work-life balance right now, because everyone knows whether you want a bubble or pretend it's not there, we all know we're connected around the clock. And again, it's because of the ease of use with the technology that we have with the cell phones, and we're always on call and we're always available. And a part of it's our fault. You know, why are we answering our own emails at 11 o'clock at night? Now you're giving people more of a reason to email you after hours. So, like, you know, so, but a lot of companies are coming and realizing that a lot of their employees are getting burnt out, they're getting stressed, they're getting tired, they're, you know, they're not, you see it, and they're realizing it, and they're starting to, whether it's, you know, giving off every other Friday or leaving early every other week, or what company was it that just, I think it was Cisco, I just saw it on LinkedIn this week, decided to give every employee off this coming Friday. You know, based on, you know, all the extra hours everyone's been working because of COVID. So companies are recognizing it. You know, you have the Googles and the Apples that are even more recognizant of you know, giving their associates those extra perks and you know, whether it's gym memberships or something. So I think it's coming more to the forefront because people are getting burnt out and working all these extra hours, and it's almost like a payback, but definitely a lot more can be done by companies for sure. But again, it's on us. You have to take ownership of your work-life balance. Like I said, do you have to log on to your phone and check emails like I have a thing, if it's urgent, someone's going to call me. If there's a fire I need to put out for one of my locations, and I have 50 sites globally. So yeah, emergencies are going to happen. Thankfully, they don't happen every day. But if it's an emergency, who's going to email you? They're going to call. So yeah, I will have my phone, my ringer on, but I'm not going to check emails at 10 and 11 o'clock. And if I do, shame on me, because now I've set an expectation, right? Because now I'm responding to stuff at midnight. Why wouldn't someone email me at 10 o'clock at night and expect an answer? And why then would I blame my company for not having work-life balance? It's on me. My company's not saying answer those emails. They can wait till 8 o'clock the next morning, right? So yeah, I mean, there's a long way to go, but we also have to take our own ownership of it. That's for sure. I believe in that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. What do you have to say, Marti, to the people, those are working like till 10 o'clock with the perception, like if you work for a longer time, which means you are, dedicated for the organizations?
Look, I mean, I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm not, there's some people that thrive on it. They think, that's even a better time to get stuff done, because it's quiet and they can answer without interruptions and they can be more focused. I'm not saying it's wrong at all. I'm just saying that if you're one to say, I have no time and I can't handle this anymore, then you gotta put out some parameters. You gotta set some expectations. You gotta set some schedule times, right? Where you just have to say, nope, after this time, unless it's an emergency, it's my time. You cannot bother me. But there's nothing wrong. I'm not by it. If that's the message I sent out, by all means, I apologize and I retract that. There's nothing wrong with working around the clock. There are some people that thrive on it. That's their downtime. That's how they relax, by being constantly engaged. Everyone's different. Some people don't need to go for a walk. Some people don't need to read a book or listen to a podcast like I do just to chill and have some, mental relaxation. They love to be constantly connected, and that's great. There's other people that love social media that they're constantly on there too. Fantastic. If that's what makes you happy and chills you and makes you motivated and mellows you, I'm not one to judge. That works for you. That's fantastic. You know what I mean? But you got to find out what your parameters are, what you're willing to accept, and what you're not, and then kind of work through that. And if you have a struggle working through that, you got to talk to your bosses. You got to talk to your manager, your HR person, whoever, because expectations need to be set. And no organization, no workplace should expect people to work 24/7 around the clock. It's just not feasible.
That's correct. That used to be the challenges as far as my knowledge is concerned. Like, people are like judged by the parameter of like how many hours you're putting to the work, not in terms of productivity. So yes, that's definitely. So you would like to be productive as much as you can within the limited official time if required.
Yeah.
Perfect. In this stage, I would encourage all my participants to throw your questions to Marti. So keep bringing those questions. I have the last one, Marti, for you. You are like certified PSP, CHPP, and now enrolled in Arizona University's Computer Security and Forensic Certifications program. Does this certifications help you making your game different? How does it help?
Well, listen, it expands my knowledge. I've been in various sectors of the private security world. Like I said, I started off in loss prevention. I went into fraud investigations. I've done internal investigations, and physical security is my strength. I think I know it inside out. I'm very comfortable in physical security. I really enjoy the aspects of physical security, but everything that you're hearing and reading about in our profession, in our industry, is this combination now of physical security and cybersecurity. There's an integration, there's an emergence together. I mean, even ASIS International is working on various papers and standards and whatnot that show how these two go hand in hand. And really, we're living in a bubble if we think they're not. Technology is advancing, everything is, connected now. Physical and cyber, there's just no way you can say, I don't need to know. So for me, because I didn't have that strong knowledge of cybersecurity, and the fact that, it is coming closer and closer to my world, I figured it's going to help me if I learn about it. So yeah, I can read, I can try and like learn my own way, but I think to get like a good grasp, I needed a more formal learning platform. And for me, that was a university level certification. Now, people can say, why didn't you go for a degree? Honestly, I don't want to be in school for the next 5 years because I'm employed full time. If I want a degree, that's usually 3 or 4 years of university. Spread that over part time, I'd be in school for the next 10 years. That's not something I wanted. So I found this certification program through Ryerson University. I can probably realistically do it. It's online, which is great. I can do it on my own time. It'll probably take me 2 years, maybe 3 if I spread it out and I want my summers off. And it'll help teach me the basics. I did a lot of research on which courses, which certifications, which degrees would be most beneficial. And I talked to a few colleagues that are in this world, and quite a few recommended this one because even though it's short, it's very compact and it touches over a lot of things within cybersecurity, network security, penetration testing, audits, various things, even hacking, ethical hacking, of course. So I thought, it's going to be great to enroll in this one. And I just started in September. So it's it's time consuming. There's a lot of reading, there's a lot of lab work, there's a lot of practice, but in the end, it expands my knowledge. It helps me. So does it make the game different? Absolutely. It's to my advantage. It's something that's happening in our world. And, it's good to be on top of it by getting some formal education, having a designation or a degree behind it, or a certificate in this case. It'll help me in my career, for sure it will. Like there's no second guessing that. So yeah.
That's perfect. Absolutely. So that's going to cover like most of the people's dilemma in order to gain certifications, how that's really going to help, in their personal and professional development and career-wise. So that's fantastic to have some testimony like you and how people are taking advantage of. Well, your knowledge never goes waste. So that's
Never. Yeah.
There is a question from one of our participants, Marti. What do you think, how we can make the social stigma blur? What do you have to say? There was some stigma before.
The social stigma?
Yes.
So I think we covered that earlier in another question, but I mean, I don't think, again, and I'm basing it on my world and my experience, I don't think it's as big as maybe it used to. I mean, women have come a long way. They maybe in the security world, it's not as prevalent. Like I said, the numbers are low, but when you look at the ratios in general, men versus women in our industry, the numbers are low for women. So, but the fact that even though the numbers are low, you still see such, strong women in higher positions within the security profession and even in the law enforcement profession gives you hope that the biases are being slowly pushed away and we are going on merit and we are looking for the best candidate, not for the best male, not for the best female. We're looking for the best candidates. And, you know, as long as we all, and this is not just a woman thing, it's everybody, you take pride in yourself, you work hard, you have that integrity. To me, integrity is everything. And it shows so much about a person, that moral character, you know. And the one phrase, and I remember this, and I think it was from a cartoon, you guys might laugh, but it was from a cartoon and it stuck, was, you know, always doing the right thing even when no one's watching. I think it was a Bugs Bunny cartoon, but it stayed with me. And that's such a simple way to think of integrity. And, you know, people will gravitate towards natural leaders, towards confident people, towards, you know, strong-willed, hardworking, respectful people that engage with others. And you know what? The right opportunities will come and the barriers will disappear. I really do believe that. I have to believe that. You know, and then there's these organizations like ASIS that, you know, have the women in security chapters and councils. Take advantage of that. You know, if you're in a chapter like yours and mine, we have women in security committees. They have events. Go attend them. Talk to people. You know, find those ones that are not comfortable yet to approach. Maybe they're a little meek and shy. Go talk to them. Become a role model to them. Become a mentor. Give them advice. Give them, you know, share a story with them. Break the ice. Let them, you know, become more comfortable so they can come out to the next meeting and the next meeting and get to know more people. I'm not a shy person at all. So, you know, but I can see shy people. And when I go to events, whether it's my own events, our own chapters events, or even other networking or, you know, conferences or whatever, I always try and look around the room to see who the shy people are. You see them, they're introverted, they're kind of sitting to themselves, or in a corner, they're not comfortable coming and talking to people. I go to them, I go and I talk to them, I go introduce myself. And I think that'll also give, you know, women that are hesitant a little more confidence, knowing that someone's there kind of for them, looking out for them. So if we can all do that, women or men or anyone, I think it'll help our industry, and I think it'll help women in our industry. But yeah, be true to yourself. Work hard, get, you know, expand your knowledge, you know, like I'm doing this certification. Do what you need to do. Take advantage of ASIS and all its resources, its webinars, its publications, its standards. There's a lot of info, and the more knowledge you get, the more you're going to be a go-to person for some. They're going to come to you for that knowledge and for that expertise. And you know, that's where you get that respect, and barriers should be gone.
Yep. Yes. Knowledge always speaks. So yeah, that's very true. Now the question from our participant, Marti. How does this MSyl membership of yours helping you?
So the Security Institute, I don't know if you guys all know about it. It's very similar to ASIS. It's out of the UK. So it's very, it's more predominant in Europe, in the European countries, but very similar to ASIS International. Obviously a lot smaller. I think their membership is on, I think about 3,000, something like that. But because I have European offices that I'm responsible for, I thought it would be a good association to become a member of. Same format. You pay a membership fee for the year. You have access to their publications, webinars, events, whatnot. But more, like I said, because I have European offices that I'm responsible for, I thought it would be a good way for me to connect with some European colleagues outside of ADP that could, you know, help me with some of the offices there. I mean, I'm not familiar with all the countries' laws and jurisdictions, and it's a good way to learn. So again, I found it, a friend of mine had it under his title, and I remember asking him, what's this I thought it was MSyl. It's not, it's MSYI, Security Institute. And I go, what is this MSyl? And he goes, I'm a member of the Security Institute. And I'm like, what's the Security Institute? And he told me, and I looked into it, and that's how I got into it. I applied, I got membership. Again, they base it like on your years of experience and your education and your background, whatnot. I got membership, and it really helped me, like I said, with those offices there across the pond, because I got to know some people that can assist me with certain things, even a couple of cases where I needed contacts. So it became very useful. So member status, I think there's entry level, associate status, student status, and fellowship, but it's open globally, but it's predominantly in Europe.
Perfect, perfect. Yes, even I had the same question. Thank you so much. So we can even think about, this kind of membership, which is really helping to grow your network. That's amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Marti. I think that is it. I do not see any other questions from the participants. The last one I would like to ask, behalf of everyone, do you have any other particular suggestions for women of the next generations?
You know what? Yes, keep yourself current, expand your knowledge, learn, don't ever stop learning, use all the platforms out there. Like I said, there's social media, there's conferences that you can attend. I'm sure you guys have conferences, a lot of them in the US, just like we have here in Toronto and in Canada. I want to learn about cybersecurity, so I joined like the Women's Cybersecurity Society, again, to learn things. Read, there's a lot of information out there. Listen to podcasts, there's useful, like, keep yourself current and work on your brand. And when I say brand, who you are, who people see you as, whether it's on LinkedIn, your profiles, your professional profiles, that people can find out information. Now everyone's Googleable. You Google someone, you find, their LinkedIn right away, followed by anything else that they're a member of or a part of. So really focus on your brand, build your brand, but be true to yourself. There's nothing more important than being true to yourself. And if you want something, go get it, fight for it, fight fairly, and don't ever give up on your dreams. My advice to the next generation.
Thank you, Marti. Thank you so much. Thank you for this wonderful session and sharing some of the great experiences, suggestions, strategies to our participants. I personally felt this is very helpful, and I'm positive about the similar feedbacks from our participants as well. ASIS Southern Connecticut chapter is committed to provide great source of information to our members and professionals, which will make a significant difference in your personal as well as professional career. I would like to highlight our future chapter meetings, which is extremely exciting and meaningful for our current scenario, which is coming on June 11th, 2020 at 7 p.m. The topic is NFPA codes that relate to pandemic response, with NFPA code expert Van Moray as the speaker. Thank you once again, everyone, for participating and supporting this women in security effort. I'm extremely grateful for your presence and proud of your choices you made. Please remember to visit our website, www.soconnasis.org. That is soconsis.org, to learn more about this exciting upcoming events. Stay safe. Thank you so much.
Thank you guys for having me. Again, honor and a privilege. I really appreciate it. Thank you all and have a good day.
Have a great evening. Thank you.